Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 Takeaways episode from this past Monday's interview with Scott Miller. Hope you guys really enjoyed. I think this might have been one of the episodes that has the most tactile and the most action step-oriented episodes that I've ever done. And he gave us so much information and so much knowledge about things that I know that I'm going to try to start doing in my life and things that I know you can start to apply in your life as well. There's so much career advice early on in your career, but also these are things that he's trying to do and he's trying to act on at his point in his career when he's 50 years old, coming out with his first book and a few more down the pipeline. So these are things that he's trying to implement into his life as well. And it's all about being able to practice what you actually preach to others. And that's something that he's doing at the ultimate level. But I want to get right into my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is going to be friend up. And this is what he talked about really right at the beginning of the episode in terms of surrounding yourself with older people who have done what you want to do or in similar arenas. Surround yourself with people who are older, who are smarter, more experienced, and ask them what it took to get to where they are, what mistakes they made, and being able to take in as much of that information as you can, being able to learn from the mistakes that they've made, being able to go in, to put yourself into the situations that they put themselves in, do the habits that they've done to allow themselves to be able to be where they currently are. So it's really important to friend up in the sense of being around older, smarter, more experienced people to see how they got to where that they are, and they can help you get to where you want to be as well. What he talked about was trying to hire a personal board of advisors. So people that you trust, that you know are in your corner, who are looking out for your best interest, who are willing to give you the honest feedback about different things that you do. Because I think a lot of times we have close friends, close family who always just give us the praise, always just say, what we're doing is great, you're doing a great job, all that good stuff, which is great, which is positive, and it energizes us. But a lot of times we need that constructive criticism to be able to actually start working on some of the things, some of our faults that we need to work on in order to become better. So personal board of advisors is super important to be able to ask them questions. And that kind of leads me into takeaway number 2, which is curiosity. More and more I have these interviews, the more people tell me about the importance of curiosity. He actually really used a phrase. He said that CEOs hire on insatiable curiosity. They hire people who are willing to learn, who are just always wanting to learn more, to be better, and to be more heightened versions of themselves. He talked about how, it's not always easy to be curious, but you have to be willing to ask other people for feedback, knowing that the feedback isn't necessarily things that you want to hear. They're going to be faults. They're going to be mistakes, but you got to be able to take those things in and then begin to work on them right afterwards. You can't be afraid to admit that you don't know something. That's what he said became one of his strengths a little bit later on in his career. Right in the beginning, he said, he wasn't great at it. And he talks about that in the beginning of his book, but he talks about how in a lot of meetings, he was one of the only ones willing to admit that he didn't know a word or a particular idea that they were talking about. And that allowed him to gain the knowledge that much quicker. So be willing to admit that you don't have all the answers a lot of times. Be willing to be humble and be willing to be curious. And then number 3 is the compounding effect of a habit. He talked about this when I was asking him about how to be a little bit more financially successful later on in your career, and how can we ensure that early on in our lives. And he said, really focus on making sure you're perfecting your habits, because habits are things that don't change. The habit itself can increase in optimization in the sense that, like, if you're saving money, you can start off saving $1 a day. Save $1 a day for a couple months. Everybody can do that. And then after a couple months, maybe start saving $2 a day. Start saving $3 a day, $5 a day. And all of a sudden, you'll realize how much that can compound on itself and finally see what the end result is. Because, guys, the important thing is that you master the art of showing up for a particular habit before you start to optimize it. And I talked about it in the last 3 takeaways episode. If you're wanting to read, start reading more. Start with 10 pages a day. Don't start with an hour of reading a day. You're not going to do that long term. Start up with just mastering the art of showing up and reading 10 pages a day for a month, for 2 months. And then if you feel like you can bump it up to 15 pages a day, go for it. But master the art of showing up before you start to optimize that particular habit. And Tony Robbins talks about this too, in a sense when making more money, you're just more of who you already are. You're not, like, the habits are still going to be there. If you're somebody who is just a mean son of a gun and you're always angry, you're just going to be more mean and more angry when you have more money. If you're very giving and you're willing to help other people out when you don't have a lot of money, then you're probably going to be that same person. You're going to be more generous, more willing to give, more willing to help out when you do have a lot more money. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is friend up. Surround yourself with older, more experienced people who have done similar things that you want to do and learn from them, learn where they've been, and then be willing to be curious with those people, which is takeaway number 2, curiosity. Because curiosity is born from confidence and courage. Being willing to get that tough feedback from others takes confidence in yourself that it's not going to completely put you down as a person and that they're just advising you on that particular thing that you did that they gave feedback for. Number 3 is the compounding effect of a habit. Make sure that you master the art of showing up for a very important habit and then optimize it over time. But just believe in the power of consistency with that particular habit and that it will compound itself over time. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this Scott Miller episode. If you have not listened to it yet, I'm telling you, you are missing out. You have got to go back and listen to this because there is so much tactile steps that you can start to take, some actionable things that you can begin to improve your life that I feel like I would be doing you a disservice if I did not get this Scott Miller, this episode into your ears. So do yourself a favor, go back and listen to it. If you have not already, also share it with a friend. I mean, what better way can you help a friend out? You can help a loved one out by helping them learn, grow, and get a little bit smarter and educating them on different ways that they can start improving themselves and improving their career. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode and I will talk to you guys soon.